Yeah.
It's so tricky. And again, I don't know that this is true in every case, but I think like when you get to that deeper, real, sometimes really ugly stuff, that is when transformation on their terms can happen. Like, I know that's such a thrown around word and everything. I'm like, but there's a reason I think it doesn't work to just like scream your position at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about last time. Um, Sometimes it's like I'm just screaming into the echo chamber of people who follow me who already believe everything I believe. And like it feels like I'm doing something, but really, what's the point? Because the people I actually wish would change their minds are not seeing this at all on social media.
Yep.
They're never going to. But when you're in a relationship with a real person who shares something that they might know socially is not okay with most people,
Mm-hmm.
usually it's like I take it as this person's open to talking about it. They've shared it. They're open to talking about it. Again, it doesn't come up a lot for me now as a business coach. It's come up from time to time, but like came up a lot in relationship stuff.
I imagine.
Like lots of beliefs like women are inherently untrustworthy was one I've heard a
Mm.
lot in different
Mm-hmm.
ways. I'm like, where did that come from? In
Mm-hmm.
you and five other people I talked to this week.
Fascinating.
So
Yeah.
fun. And then they were willing to explore it with a woman.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
It's tough.
And
It's
it makes me curious as well. Like sometimes it might be coming out of a space of like, oh yeah, I feel safe to share what I'm really feeling. Sometimes it might be coming as like a pushing away tactic or
yeah.
like I'm feeling too vulnerable or like stay away from me. Either way, I think with if the coach is in a position to be curious without taking it personally,
Mm-hmm.
it is very fruitful to poke at and explore potentially.
That part of my business, I feel like, was like coaching trial by fire because it was a lot of like, I'm feeling a certain way about this person and
Oh,
what
that
they're
you were
saying.
managing for
And I'm
yourself?
like, can I just hold it because there's no one else in their life that can?
Hmm.
Can I hold it and like go through this with them and see what is on the other side of the whatever reaction they were expecting
Hmm.
or they're used to?
Right. How long did you do that for?
Gosh, long enough to write a book about it. It was like the first several years of my coaching business.
Wow.
Someone told me I needed a niche and I was like, okay, fine. The best thing in my life that got better from coaching was my marriage. I'll
Aw.
coach on marriage. It was very nice, but then I was like, oh, it's hard. I To any relationship coaches out there, whew, I know what you're going through. It's hard.
Did you coach each like two people at the same time?
Sometimes on the same session, and
Hmm.
sometimes I would coach a couple and I would meet with them separately.
Hmm.
And it was like I was coaching two different people in two different relationships because they have very different accounts of what was happening.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I coached some amazing couples that like solved incredible things. And like I became a business coach because so many of my relationship coaches were like, all right, this is great. We still have like 6 more weeks and I'm in a great place in my relationship. What else can we do? I'm like, well,
Oh,
we're all
wow.
business owners. Let's talk about that. So
Hmm.
um, but yeah, like incredibly hard stuff at times too.
Yeah. How did you manage the like when personal stuff came up for you or when you had a
Mm.
visceral reaction to something that one of the clients said?
It was that like, ooh, how does it feel when you say that?
Hmm.
So I can tell I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, because I'll tell you how I feel. But it was like
Uh-huh.
I would actually intentionally, this is kind of a yoga teacher trick. actually. So when I used to teach yoga, my clients all thought I was very manipulative because whenever we would do the hardest poses, I would slow down. I would soften my voice. I would get really quiet. So people had to really lean in. And then I'd be like, now we're going to just keep holding plank. We're going to keep holding it. And I know you're shaking, but I believe that you can do that. Like, I would get very, and so I would actually sometimes do that. And like, when I feel like I want to harden, I'm going to intentionally soften
Mm.
in the face of like what's hard. I don't know that I would recommend that for everybody because I think there is a nervous system repatterning that had to happen when I was no longer in that position, but I was doing the best I could with the techniques I had at the time.
Yeah.
And some deeply healing things happened. I mean, it's better than like hanging up the phone on a client.
Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the question of like, what do you do when you don't like the person you're coaching?
I don't coach anybody I don't like.
Yeah,
What about you?
the same.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Okay, yes, there are people that like I would not coach. And like if I can't get to a place where I like and or love, not in like an inappropriate way, but in a like humanity sort of
Yes.
way,
Yeah.
if I can't get to a place where I love and like a client, I don't think I have business coaching them because I'm not able to like I think part of my job as a coach is to like come from the perspective of my client makes sense and like I can be on their side
Yeah.
in some way, not in a like I don't have to validate everything they do, nor should I, but I should be able to like get on their side in some
Mm-hmm.
way. If I can't do that, I don't think I can coach them responsibly.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I get like I don't think I can take credit for this necessarily, but I find it pretty easy. I found it very easy to like my clients or
Yes.
to find something to like and admire in them.
100%. Yeah. If you're talking to somebody who's interested in opening their mind and potentially changing their worldview, they want to do some inner mindset work, like what's not to like? Even
Hmm.
if they're not like a person you would go to dinner with, like I want more of those people in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I
And
take it.
even
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's okay. Even like I don't know, like I can be fascinated by anyone.
Hmm?
So I don't know if like I need to like them in the sense that yeah, like I would hang out with them, but I can be like curious about anyone. If I can be curious about you, I think I might be able to coach you.
I think that's maybe like the that's the question. It's like, are you fascinated with this person? Because if you're, I think I agree with you. I think if you're not curious about them, you're like, I want to know what makes this person tick.
Hmm.
We don't have business coaching them. I could coach people I like and would want to hang out with socially, but like, I'd much rather be fascinated with them. It's not a
Yeah.
requirement. They don't have to be like a likable, jovial person for me to want to coach them. I mean, I say that, and at the same time, part of part of a lot of the work that I do, it's so intertwined with the business. I also have to be interested in their business. I'm like,
Right. Well,
if
and
I
you're
don't understand their vision, I
collaborating.
just feel like I don't have any business talking about your content if I don't get who your clients are and what your business is
Right.
doing and like what you want and what your like. There's a lot of pieces. If I
Hmm.
can be fascinated and I can, in basic terms, understand what it is they're trying to create,
Hmm.
I'm and it's great. But
Yeah.
the Trad Wife book, probably not for me.
Although I would be very fascinated by that person.
That could be a funny TV show, like
Oh.
a reality show. Like you have to coach people who have like not just opposing worldviews, but like offensive views to you, and you have to coach them to a milestone.
It is weird because I would actually like there's a part of me, maybe it's like a malicious part of me. I don't know. Maybe I need to examine it more, but I would actually like love to coach a trad wife.
Heard it here, folks.
Not,
Helene is open
yeah.
for
Come on. I'm
business.
sure I make it sound very appealing. They'll be like, no,
I'm
I will
willing to
not
try
touch.
it just for the
Yeah.
social experience.
I would I would be I would be so fascinated with that
Yeah.
person. I would have so many questions for
Yeah.
them. Like so it's so interesting to me. Again, I would want to ask myself like what am I creating? So I want to make help that person become more effective in what they're putting out into the world? No, probably not. So I would have to examine that. But just from like a purely selfish, like I'm interested in this
Mm-hmm.
intellectual exercise, I would be very interested in
Okay,
doing
I want
that.
to play the devil's advocate here. I'd be
Yes.
curious to hear what people think about this too. Like listeners, please chime in.
I did not
But
expect
would
this to
you,
be like the trad
okay, but
wife
if you had,
episode.
if I love this. Okay, so I would watch that reality show, first of all. And like on a very serious note, would you rather somebody with a very different worldview than you get coached by you or get coached by somebody who is totally supportive in that worldview and is just gonna like help them be the best thing they are in that environment?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it
What
depends
would you wish
from
for
whose
them?
perspective. I would not wish for that to happen. No, I think it, no, please. Um, I think it, and this might be true. I think this is true for like any client that I work with, whether I share their views or not. Are they open to examining themselves? Are they open to changing? Are they open to questioning their beliefs? I think that's like the fundamentals of coaching. If they are open to those things, not that they have to like suddenly adopt my worldview, but I would want them to be like open to connecting with themselves honestly around some questions like is it like do I feel an integrity to be like profiting off of a worldview that is like pretending to not be profiting? Like I don't know, just to put that out there as like a
Mm-hmm.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
Um, it would be interesting to me to talk honestly about like, yeah, like what are your values? Are you in alignment with your values?
Yep.
And like what are the implications of that?
Yeah, because I actually I've had, same as you. I've had like a wide variety of clients with different worldviews, different religions, all the stuff. And I sometimes I'm like, gosh, I feel so lucky that this person can bring me something that they would be so ashamed of sharing inside their community of beliefs or religion. And they bring it to me and I'm just like, tell me what's wrong with that. And they'll
Hmm.
cite like a passage from a spiritual book and I'm like, okay, that's what a book says, but tell me why that's wrong for you. Like I'm still not clear on what makes that so bad for you because it was the choice
Mm-hmm.
you made. Like I sometimes think I kind of wonder like would it be better for people to, this is going way back when we talked about like does someone have to have the same life experience as you in order like to
Oh,
coach
right.
you? It's
Mm-hmm.
like I think sometimes it's really freeing to be in a space with someone who does have a totally different idea about the world,
Yeah.
um, because it gives you potentially the space, and I mean, for sure, the other person, but it gives you the space as the client to not automatically be judged or told what to do from the pre-existing rules that you're getting coached on anyway.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think it could be a great TV show. Whoever wants to do it, let us know. We'll watch.
Yeah, although I think I would be horrible on a reality show.
I
I'm like
disagree.
too afraid of cameras. I'm too awkward. I would be like, no, I don't know that that would appeal to me. But yeah, I do think it's interesting. I also want to be clear, the specific, I don't know why I feel the need to say
Oh,
this, but
please, yeah.
I actually think like I don't think there's like anything inherently wrong with being a trad wife. What I don't like about it is like the hypocrisy of like profiting
Right.
off of an ideology
When
that's
you're
like
actually a business
pretending
owner,
you're not profiting, right?
when you have
Especially
5
when that's
million
used.
followers and brand deals, but you're just a stay-at-home mom,
But you're just a stay-at-home mom, and like this is
not
something
actually
that you should all
funding
aspire
everything in your
to.
family.
Right. That's the problem, especially when it's used to like justify taking away rights from women.
Or
Anyway,
telling other women what to do.
right, or telling them what to do, how they should be, what the like ideal of femininity is. I think it's awesome for women to find like ways to make money and to be wildly successful. Like that's fantastic. I also do think like it is hard in a coaching dynamic with me to do like hide aspects of what yourself or like live out of integrity. I will challenge that if I see
Mm-hmm.
it. And I don't think that's from necessarily from a like, I'm imposing my worldview on
Mm-hmm.
you as much as it is on a like, what are your values? Are you living in accordance with your values? And what does
Mm-hmm.
that look like? And if you're not, why not? Like, what comes up when you explore that? So I
Mm-hmm.
do think it could be interesting.
Yeah. Should all
Yeah.
get coaches have totally different views of the world.
I say that when I think about clients coming to me, but when I think
No.
about going to a coach who has a completely different worldview, I'm like, ugh, no, thank you.
Yeah, they're going to be shocked. Or maybe
hmm
they won't. Maybe they'll be like, I'm not going to judge you because you're not in this worldview that I am in. And who does?
Maybe, but I'm also like, can I trust you? I don't know. Yeah.
That, I mean, gosh, that's the question. It's like, I think it all comes down to trust. And there are things I definitely would never tolerate in my personal life that I will totally explore with a client because I'm like, they trusted me. They brought this to me. They want to talk about this.
hmm
This is maybe the one time in the world where they've been able to open this up. And they're
Yeah.
opening it up with somebody who believes something fundamentally different.
hmm
And they probably know that because I'm not shy about who I am.
Yeah. hmm Yeah. Interesting stuff. Okay. So I'm wondering, are there any like facets of this that we have overlooked?
No, I'm gonna send you every single email we get though from the
Have you
influencer.
ever actually gotten an
Yes.
email about you have? Like
Um,
not like a bot email that's
no, they're
like,
all bot emails, I think.
okay.
I think they're all bot emails. A lot of like I got one from a winery who was like, have our
Ooh.
CEO on your thing. And I'm like, I think you think we're like wine connoisseurs. What are they? Sommeliers. We're sommeliers and we're going to talk about your wine. But like, you want to send us a bottle of wine, I'll drink your bottle.
We'll drink it. We'll give an honest review. I'm not a wine expert, but
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think this will help your brand to come on our show.
that'd
Yeah.
be
I
really
don't
funny
know.
if we just randomly had like a
Yeah.
random CEO on. Like I don't even know how that would
And
go.
visit them. That'd be fun.
hmm Yeah.
Okay. Real pitches are welcome, but not AI pitches. Yeah. So
Yeah.
funny. Um, okay. So I think we're kind of in agreement. We're kind of aligned. Have you ever had to shut down a coaching session?
Ooh.
Like in the middle of a session,
Um,
say, I am not comfortable. Let's get off the phone.
not that I can remember. I don't think I have. I kind of wish I had.
It'd be
so that
good
I
for the
could,
show. I hope it happens so
it
that you
would
can
be
tell it.
great for the show. I like that you're already producing this. I can't think of any. Not that comes to mind. Have you?
I did cut a session short once.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The person started yelling at me to like stop asking them questions.
Oh, wow.
They were like, I think they wanted me to, it was about, they were having some major frustrations. Their situation was terrible. But they were like yelling at me about a situation that had happened. And I was like, okay, you seem very upset. I don't think I can coach you. They had some sessions left. I was like, I'm happy to rebook those when you feel ready, but I don't think this is fruitful right now. So I'm going to get off the phone now. This was like way, way back when I was a newer
Hmm.
coach. I'm sure I could have handled it differently, but I was just like,
That's a
I was
like
like
ball.
watching the clock and I was like, I cannot talk to this person for 15 more minutes.
That's such a powerful move, though, especially as like a young coach to be like, mm-mm,
Yeah.
I'm not,
I was like,
nothing good is
I
happening
can't make a new
here.
job for you. You are now not yelling about being frustrated. You're yelling at me. And
Hmm.
I'm literally the only person on your team here who's trying to help
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
And I was just
What
like, "No,
happened with that client?
nothing. Never heard from them again.
Oh, wow.
They didn't
Okay.
ever rebook and I didn't reach out. I think
Huh.
I did reach out. I was just like, you were really upset. Um, it wasn't like I was not like, hey, you're not allowed to yell at me because I'm like, I don't really care if people yell in their
Yeah.
sessions. Like they're welcome to yell and scream. I don't usually take it personally, but I was like, I can add that time back onto a future session, but like you were not in a space to coach. And I mean, I've had other instances where someone has gone through something really big and I just get a sense where I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't think today, I don't like, I think that if I start coaching you, you're just going to feel like pressure to have a response and pressure to like, I did learn something from that because I was like, you're just going to feel like you're supposed to do something. And I think we should just move it to next week.
Yeah.
Like
That's
maybe
so
just maybe let
powerful
yourself
to
just
identify.
go cry. And I mean, I have different tools now. So now I'm like, we could just process through anything.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, back then I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you how that thought makes you feel, and you're gonna yell at me. I don't have anything else. I have more now. I have more
But
I can
that's
do.
such a like that's so powerful that you were able to recognize because I do think a lot of early coaches or coaches who are only trained in like cognitive work, there is there are times when that's just like not what's needed for the from the client. Like you have to I think there are certain conditions in order for cognitive coaching
Yeah.
to be effective. And so like how powerful that you at least realized
Well,
there are
after getting yelled at, I
limitations.
was like, I don't want to get yelled at by this person.
Not doing that
No.
again.
Yeah, now I'm just like, please yell and scream and swear. It really doesn't bother me at all. But like back then, I was like, I have nothing else. I also
Yeah.
always keep now. I have like two. I have a tarot deck and an oracle deck on my desk, like always. So if I
Mm.
even sometimes, I have a couple clients who we've worked together for a long time. We get through things really quickly, and sometimes I'm like, all right, we have 20 minutes left in this session. You've talked through everything. You're feeling good, like, do you want to just do some cards? Like, should we talk to your future self?
Fun.
Should we like do some? So I've started to like do that openly for people who want that in their coaching, and that's also been really fun because often things come up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how did we not talk about this? I can't believe the
Hmm.
card just showed me to think that I actually do need coaching on that," and it brings up like a whole other area. It's kind of fun.
I think it would be fun to talk about, have a podcast episode like about different methodologies or like the importance of
Ooh,
having
yes.
different methodologies and approaches. Because like I think that, yeah, like there are times when cognitive coaching is absolutely it. And there are times when like I've had entire sessions, which used to be such a no-no in my mind. I've had entire sessions where we just like they just like vent. And like as like
So
they're venting
powerful.
in such a way that they're like moving emotion through themselves, but I'm not like trying to change or challenge a single thing. In
Mhm.
fact, sometimes I'm like egging them on
Mhm.
because like
Right.
they've been kind of avoiding certain emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna step out of the like
I gotta
role of the
fix
coach that
you.
I learned.
Yes. Hmm.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, that does suck. Tell me more
Hmm.
about it. Like in certain modes,
Yes.
that would be a terrible thing to say, and in certain modes,
Totally.
it's like the medicine that's needed.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah. Ooh, let's do an episode about like picking your medicine as a coach.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
That's so good. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because the person who yelled at me it was in a different context. I'm like, gosh, I don't even use that tool anymore.
Hmm.
Like I don't even do thought models with people
Mm-hmm.
ever. Like it might come up
Same.
sometimes, but I'm like, that used to be my one trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, let's talk about the myriad of possibilities and all along the coaching tool belt.
Yeah, I'm excited for this because I feel like I'm gonna get some
Me
ideas from
too.
it
I can't wait to
too.
hear all the things you do. So fun.
Yeah.
Ah, well, I hope this was helpful for people. You can always end a session.
Yeah.
See you, everybody. You don't have
Yeah, like take
to.
that as a lesson. If something doesn't feel right or good to you, you can end it. You can pause it. And like sometimes it might mean the coaching relationship is over. Sometimes it really does not mean that at all. Like sometimes that's actually a signal to the client, like this is a safe place and like, this is what it looks like to step in. It like I think there are a lot of different outcomes to that. So you don't necessarily have to like keep going with something that you feel is not helping.
Yeah. I mean, you're not under obligation to like suddenly not be a human with your own values and worldview just because someone paid you for coaching. Like, I think
Hmm.
that like as much as I'm like, yes, I can be open and all this stuff, like there's some things I would never be open about, never be okay about. Um, it's a relationship. Just because someone's paying you doesn't mean you have to hear things or absorb things that like would cause you harm.
Yes.
There's a better person out there for that for them. It doesn't have to be you. You don't owe someone like your space.
And
And
it's
that's why I think consultations are so important. Like we think consultations are sales calls. It's like no, it's to check and see if the relationship is one that you can contribute your best work and that person can receive what they're needing, but in a way that's like respectful of the situation.
hmm Yeah, it's like, do I want to go into this partnership? Or to call back to our recent episode, like, is this a person I want to and can collaborate with?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really important question to answer. And like, your criteria for collaboration with a client will probably be different than your criteria for other forms of collaboration. But I think that's an important question to ask yourself. And I think, Erin, you touched on this point earlier, but I think a lot of coaches, especially new coaches, can have like a scarcity mentality around clients. So like, oh, I have to like hold on to the clients that I have. And if you're spending a lot of time and energy coaching yourself around a specific client, obsessing over a specific client, having some angst, needing a lot of additional emotional support, maybe you can coach them responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will be a growthful experience for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to. And you can always choose to put that time and energy elsewhere and doing that. Like if you put that time and energy into like connecting with clients who you actually find it very easy and joyful
Mm-hmm.
to coach,
Yeah.
that could be an excellent business move.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent business move. And like, it's so much more fun to like have people on your calendar who you're like, ooh, I just want to help this person win. I want to help this person feel
Mm,
good. I want to help this person tap into something that they didn't know was possible. Like, that's so good. That
yeah.
feels amazing. And it's so value aligned. So
Yeah.
I wish that business for everyone.
Yes,
How
me
was your
too.
drink?
Very, very tasty. It felt
Mine
like a
was good.
dessert. How was yours?
Mine was good. I feel like I could sing an opera now. My throat is all lubricated.
I feel like the
I
exact opposite because it's like
feel like I'm
heavy
crawling into
sugar
bed.
dairy.
Amazing. Well, thanks everybody for listening.
Yes. Thank you,
I'll talk
Erin.
to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.